Hi, I'm Jack, and welcome back because I'm going to talk to you guys about the ninth Quentin Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yes, I am so excited to talk to you guys about this movie. I will let you know my thoughts about it in just a bit, but before we get started, don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is down below on the screen, so don't forget to do that while you're at it. And this is a spoiler review, sort of, so expect spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, get out of this video, watch the movie, and then come back here. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this movie, so let's get started. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Kurt Russell, Timothy Olyphant, Dakota Fanning, Luke Perry, Margaret Qualley, and Al Pacino, and many more in this film. The film follows fading actor Rick Dalton and his stuntman Cliff Booth as they try to navigate a rapidly changing Hollywood in 1969, all while Sharon Tate is on the rise as an actress before the events of her death in August of 1969 at the hands of the Manson family. To kick off the positives, I am going to start with the number one thing, the acting. Now, the acting is outstanding from the cast of this movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is excellent as Rick Dalton, the fading actor who's trying to deal with the fact that his career might possibly end after the end of his show Bounty Law, and you see him trying to play these different villainous characters as guest stars, trying to keep his career afloat but also wanting to do a little bit more. And he has excellent dynamic with Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, and sidetrack a little bit, Rick and Cliff, portraying by Leo and Brad, they have some of the best chemistry and dynamic out of film because they work so well together and they're excellent with each other. They're irreplaceable as these characters, and it's so hard for me to imagine anybody else in these roles because Quentin Tarantino did a marvelous job at picking two A-list actors like Leo and Brad and putting them in one movie where they're both the lead characters. And it's so fun to watch. They have excellent chemistry, lots of great moments, and it is so worthwhile to see these two actors on the big screen. And Brad Pitt is obviously Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth. We love to see it. He does a really, really spectacular job as Cliff Booth, the stunt man, and while he's not as popular as Rick Dalton is, and he's not necessarily an actor of sorts, it's nice to see him just navigate his way in Hollywood as the stunt man, and everybody thinks he did the one thing, and that thing is possibly killed his wife. And so it was really interesting to see him with his dynamic with Rick, but also with characters like Pussycat, played by Margaret Qualley, and that gives awesome nice moments to see. And plus his car driving sequences, like, he's so good at driving. Like, I could watch a whole movie where all he does is drive. Like, just take my money. But man, he deserved that Oscar for Best Supporting Actor as Cliff Booth because he is just pitch perfect casting. Nobody could have played him but Brad Pitt, and it is another reason to why Brad Pitt is such a great actor. Margot Robbie is also terrific as Sharon Tate, even though she doesn't do as much as the other two, but she has nice moments here and there. She does have a lot of resemblance to Sharon Tate in 1969, and she does a really good job with the role, especially with what she had to work with. And the supporting cast like Timothy Olyphant and Kurt Russell and Michael Madsen and Zoe Bell and just all of them, they have a lot of great actors in this film, and it's a Tarantino movie, so of course there would be. And they just work so well in this movie. And it's literally that kind of movie where it's like each of these actors show up, it's like, hey, it's them, because Tarantino does a really good job at picking the actors he wants in these roles and films, and he does another great job with this movie. And so the acting all around is terrific, even from like people like Emile Hirsch, and even from like the young girl who played Julia Butters. Just all terrific. It is just such a well acted movie. It is another good reason as to why the acting in this movie is outstanding. Plus, it has Al Pacino in this film as a supporting character. What more could you want? The next positives I'm going to say are the production design and cinematography. This movie has some of the best production design I've ever seen for a film, and it really feels like this movie came out from the 60s, but with better production value, and the colors pop. It feels like they truly replicated Hollywood in the 60s, and it looks so good, and the cinematography adds to that because it's shot so well. It makes you feel like Tarantino took you back in time to this era of Hollywood, and it really does a good job at showcasing it. It's vibrant, it's colorful, and it's amazing. I also have to talk about the directing from the man himself. Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite film directors ever, and all of his movies that I've seen from him so far have been amazing or absolute masterpieces. And this movie continues to show that, because this time he does a very different kind of movie than what you would expect him to do. Because this movie is a very simple, laid back, easygoing movie about a day in the life of Rick, Cliff, and Sharon. While movies like Django Unchained or Pulp Fiction and all that are about like these stories about these characters doing things that you wouldn't necessarily be doing or want to do. So it makes this movie a little more different, and it feels like him trying to do something different, and I like it for that, because this feels like that kind of movie where it's a simple comedy drama film. And I really like that Tarantino decided to make the violence take a back seat until the end, which was worth the wait, but I will get to that later. And I really like that because Tarantino knows how to write good stories and has brilliant dialogue, and how to do all these character dynamics and all that, and how to tell the story in a direction he wanted to go in. Tarantino is a brilliant director. He's one of the best of our time. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood continues to show you that he is still an amazing director and writer. Oh, and the soundtrack is top tier. It is one of my favorite soundtracks in film because it has lots of great songs like Son of a Lovin' Man, Bring a Little Lovin', Good Thing, California Dreamin', and Paxton Quigley's. And it is just so amazing how this soundtrack easily fits in this time frame, and it's used at the right moment, at the right time. Tarantino did a marvelous job assembling a set of songs for this film, and it's such a good soundtrack to listen to while you're on the road driving down to the vacation, which my mom and I have done before, and it's just so good, and it's such a terrific score too. It really feels like they really cared to give you lots of great songs for a movie like this, and it is easily one of the best parts of this movie, but it's also one of my favorite film soundtracks of all time. And this is also a very funny movie, for real. Like, this is Tarantino's comedy. Sure, a lot of his other movies like Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Basterds and Kill Bill are very violent and they do have humor, but this movie has lots of humor, and it's such a welcome addition for the film because there are lots of moments throughout when it's between like Cliff Booth and Bruce Lee, or even Kurt Russell's character Randy, or even in like the climax of this film. There are lots of funny moments here and there, and it continues to add to this movie to be a very fun experience, and it is simply Tarantino's funniest film to date, and it's a welcomed addition. Positive number 7. This movie has a lot of references to Hollywood in real life because Rick Dalton is inspired off of Burt Reynolds, who plays a lot of the characters that Burt Reynolds did in real life. And there are lots of posters for movies that came out around that time, and even that one episode of FBI. I am about to mention a huge spoiler, and I'm going to do it just in case because this is one of those things that were kept secret about this film. So if you haven't seen it yet, I am going to turn this next section in black and white, and so you can scroll to the point where it's not black and white anymore to tell you that you're safe. So in that case, I am going to start in 3, 2, 1. The climax is awesome because at the time, that was kept very secret to make sure that nobody spoils how Tarantino handles the Manson family, which is why this is in black and white. I was super shocked to see that they actually twisted what happened and turned to the Manson family break into Rick's house to kill Rick, Cliff, and them. And that was a shocker to see because everybody thought they would actually go with killing Sharon, which I'm happy they didn't do because that would have been a little upsetting. But, okay, try that again. Not very good, okay. But, Okay. The climax is awesome. It is one of the most shocking and awesome Tarantino climaxes he's ever given us in film. And it was a shocker to see that, to twist what happened in real life, that they had the Manson family go and break into Rick Dalton's house to kill Cliff and Rick and them. And it was awesome because it gave us a bit of humor in there for an event like this, but it also gave us Brad Pitt and Brandy killing and taking on the Manson family, and it was awesome to see them fight back. It was brutal, it's violent, it's gory, it's just like you would want to see in a Tarantino film. Plus, it all has a nice wrap-up to where Rick Dalton takes out his flamethrower from the 14 Fists of McCluskey movie that he did and incinerate that last Manson, and it is a phenomenal climax to this film that was well worth the hype. It's all good now. That part is over with. Another thing that I adore about this film is you see Rick and Cliff doing things that we do as people all the time. Like that one scene in the middle where after Cliff picked up Rick after what happened in Spawn Ranch, you see them watching an episode of FBI that Rick's starring in, and you see them talking and hanging out. That is what we do. Like, wouldn't you just have like your friend come over at your house and just watch TV and you chat? That's what we do all the time, and it makes these characters a little more relatable, and I love it for that, because in his other movies you see them doing things that I don't think we would really be doing, but here you see them doing like just everyday people things, and I love it for that. It adds an extra layer of relatability, and it's just so fun. It's simply a hangout movie. That's what this is, and it worked really well at that. One complaint I see is that people act like the film lacks tension. I strongly disagree with that statement, because there are scenes like when Cliff Booth is at Spawn Ranch wanting to say hi to George, but everybody in the Manson family who's there or disapprove of it, and you see them all standing there like they're about to murder this man, especially in the climax. There is tension in this film. I also know that there's complaint about the runtime of the movie. This is not his longest movie, but a lot of people feel like the movie might be too long or tedious to some people. I feel like this is a movie where you need to watch it more than once to really appreciate it, because when I first watched it, I thought that was kind of slow. I still liked it, but then I watched it more, and it got better each time, to the point where the runtime felt shorter every time I watched it. And it's a movie where, to truly appreciate the movie, you need to watch it more than once, because there are movies out there where you cannot just watch it one time and call it a day. No, this is one of those movies. You need to watch it maybe 2 times or maybe 3 times or more to really appreciate the film for what it is. It's not some movie with a Kill Bill or Inglourious Basterds level story. It's just a simple day in the life of an actor, a stuntman, and Sharon Tate. That's all it is. I feel like some people might have misunderstood that for being something that has a much more larger story at play. But I appreciated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for just being a simple hangout movie, and I appreciate it for that. And I feel like if you watched it more than once, that the runtime won't bother you, or you might like it a lot more if you just watch it a little bit more. Overall, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is another smash hit from Quentin Tarantino. It's one of my personal favorite films of his. It has lots of funny moments, great character moments, an exciting climax, outstanding acting from the cast of the film, with lots of beautiful scenery and cinematography work, and it is a beautiful tribute to 1969 Hollywood, and I recommend it to all. I'm going to give Once Upon a Time in Hollywood an A+, and it's a must-see for everybody. Please check out this movie. I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorite Tarantino films. It's a fantastic tribute to Hollywood in the golden age of it, and it's worth watching if you're a Tarantino fan, a fan of cinema, or just an average moviegoer. Highly recommend this movie. And with that said, those are my thoughts on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this movie, so don't forget to comment down below in the comment section whether you liked it or disliked it, or if you're mixed on this film. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. But before you head out, don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is down below on the screen, so don't forget to do that while you're at it. And thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more.
That was the best acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
Like you.